Black history is being made all the time in this space. We are doing things that nobody else is doing. And I already see over 100 of you are already in the chat right now. And by the time we're done, it'll be several hundred of you. And the reason I know that is because when we reached out to you to let you all know that we were doing a mini conference on hotel investing, a lot of you were very, very interested in this gathering. So let me first of all ask you guys in the chat. Let us know what city you're coming from. Tell me what city you're from, and I see you, Nicole, and I see a lot of beautiful Black people in the building. But Rob from Philadelphia, is that Lakeisha? Lakeisha from Michigan, or Linda? I'm sorry, Linda from Michigan. Lakeisha's from DC. And let's see here. I am looking. Norfolk, Virginia for John, Charlene from Delaware. Yeah, and you can also put hit that little link that says all panelists and attendees when you make a comment. That way everybody can see what you have to say. Myron from Durham, North Carolina, and Crystal from Charlotte, and Talia from Washington, D.C., and Kenneth is from Cusio, man, I can't even say it. Cosios, Cusco, Mississippi. See, it took me about probably 5 years of my life to learn how to spell Mississippi. I had to get that little album that played MISSISSIPPI. And literally, if I had not heard that song when I was 4, I wouldn't know how to spell Mississippi. And I know I can't spell the name of that city that you're from. Goslin from Denver. Malcolm is from Naptown. Naptown's 100 miles from Louisville, where I grew up. Columbus, Ohio, for Madonna. Leslie from Springfield, New Jersey. All right, I see you. I see you. I see you. And it's so good to see you. And bless you. And I'm not going to talk long because me being here is literally a footnote. I am so much the undercard of what we're doing today. Really the overcard, the superstar of the show is you. You guys are the stars of this. In that you are the ones, you're the ones who are making history for your family. You're the ones who are breaking generational curses. You're the ones who are investing. Maybe you're a first time investor. You know, when I was growing up, I don't know if anybody else knows what I'm talking about, but I remember when it would be a big deal when you were like the first one in your family to go to college. Anybody else in that category where you were like the first person in your family to go to college? And I wasn't. I wasn't the first one in my family to go to college, but I had a lot of friends that were, and my parents were the first ones in their family to go to college, and they both graduated from the University of Louisville when they were about 30 years old. And now I think that the trend has changed. I really do. I really think that that the culture has shifted to the point where now instead of just being proud of being the first one to go to college, we're going that next step where you now have people saying, I'm the first homeowner in my family. I'm the first investor in my family. I bought the first share of stock. How many of you are the first stock market investor in your family? A lot of you are saying, I'm the first entrepreneur in my family, right? And I'm just going to tell you, when you're talking about all of this, I don't know about y'all, but when I went to college, I majored in finance. And people say, well, why'd you major in finance? I said, because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what my life was going to be. So I figured I'll major in money because I went to college, to make some money. I didn't go to college because I wanted to hang around a bunch of white people who didn't like me. I didn't go to college because I wanted to take classes on, Irish peasants. And literally I took a class about Irish peasants. And the only thing I remember from that class, besides the fact that it was a waste of time and completely unrelated to me as a black man, is there was this drink that they had in Ireland that the peasants used to drink called Boney Clabber. And you're gonna remember this after I tell you this ridiculous story. But Boney Clabber literally is when you take some milk and you put it on the porch and you let it curdle and get real bad and nasty, like you ain't supposed to drink it, and then you put cow's blood in it. And I remember thinking, why in the hell would anybody drink spoiled milk mixed with cow's blood? See, that's just crazy. That's not our culture. That ain't who we are. We black people, we have something called common sense because we are the original man, the original woman. We can't fault other people for not being as advanced as we are in certain ways. But I will tell you, that just sounds nasty as hell. And that's literally the only thing I remember from that class. And so you think about that, right? I spent a whole 16 weeks learning about Irish peasants. Why wouldn't a young black man spend that 16 weeks learning how to become a business owner? How much of a difference in your life if you took that same 16 weeks and spent that time learning how to build wealth for your family, learning how to go and buy some real estate, right? Like so what we got to think about is where's our time going? And one of the biggest things we talk about, the wealth and the money that was stolen by white supremacy. But I think that they're stealing something even more valuable than your wealth. It's actually stolen your time. It's stolen your time, like time that you could have spent 100,000 hours. The average, if you take the number of hours you spend going to work every day for somebody else's business, this is about 40 hours a week over the course of a year. Let's say you get 2 weeks of vacation a year, so you spend 50 weeks of work. That's 2,000 hours a year. Over a decade, that's 20,000 hours. If you work for a 40-year period, that's 80,000 hours of labor that you've given to somebody else's company. A lot of us work 50 years, so that's 100,000 hours. 100,000 hours of your life that you have invested in somebody else's success. 100,000 hours of your life that you've invested in someone else's community. 100,000 hours of your life that you've invested in things that have nothing to do with your family and your people. And then you wonder why our community ends up being drained, right? Well, we are the hardest working broke people I have ever seen. Like we are the hardest working broke people. I've never seen a group of people work this hard to stay this broke as some of our people. And a lot of it is a matter of sort of asking yourself, where's my time going? Where's my energy going? Well, the fact that you're here, that you're in this conference means that you're figuring it out. You know, we talk about consciousness, right? We talk about what it means to be woke and conscious. And people throw around terms like woke and conscious, and half the people talking about being woke ain't really woke. They're sound asleep. It's like one of those dreams. You ever have a dream where you don't realize you're dreaming in a dream, so you dream that you woke up? Anybody ever have that weird thing happen in your head, or am I the only weirdo in the room? But I remember having dreams where I would dream that I woke up and I would really think I'm woke. And in my mind, in my dream, I got up, I put my clothes on, got ready for school, and but then some weird thing would happen, like I would fly to school, or I would meet Michael Jackson on the way to school, right? And I would really think that I was awake. So I'm thinking I'm woke, and then my mother would come and wake me up, and I'm like, wait a minute, wait, me and Michael Jackson were gonna make a song together on my way to school, right? And so then you realize, wait, I thought I was woke, but I wasn't really woke, right? I was actually fake woke, right? And now I'm real woke. And I think that that's kind of what we have sometimes when it comes to economics is, unfortunately, sometimes you can be fake woke thinking you're really woke. I spent a lot of years being fake woke. I spent a lot of years thinking that because I was a straight A student at the University of Kentucky, and then I eventually became a finance professor and all these things that I did, I was living in a fake woke world because eventually I did all the mainstream stuff. I was on CNN, all that stuff. And then I started realizing that, wait a minute, there's another level to this. There's another level to this game that wealthy people play. There's another level of power that truly empowered people have. When I started getting a chance to operate around maybe some millionaires and billionaires, I started realizing, like, wait a minute, whoa, they got you really thinking that you're a player and you're still actually being played. They got you thinking you're the puppet master when actually you are. Your middle name should be Pinocchio, and so that's what I think about when I think about what we're doing today. When I think about what's going to happen in this conference, we're going to talk about hotel investing. We got some great people here that are brilliant, brilliant, brilliant at what they do. And they're going to help open the doors to that next level that all of us are seeking. Where we know that there's something else out there. We just don't know quite what it is. Well, sometimes it's hard to climb up a mountain when you don't have somebody at the top kind of pulling you up and telling you what's on the horizon, right? And that's what these individuals in the Black Hotel Investing Conference are going to do for you. Now, one thing I want to mention to you is, if you go through the conference and you want to get a recording or anything like that, the URL we're using for this event is blackhotelinvesting.com. Some of you are listening outside of the conference. That stream will be shut down, but if you want to join, you still can. Just go to blackhotelinvesting.com, and we're going to cover a lot of great stuff today. That's going to be really good, and the speakers are awesome, and I'm really, really flattered and excited that these individuals have partnered with us in the Black Business School, because there's 138,000 of you, by the way, in case you want to know how many students are enrolled in the school. And I believe that we are helping, along with many other Black institutions, et cetera, to change the face of how Black people are being educated everywhere and around the world. And so the last point I'll make on this before we jump into this is this. I was reading about the Green Book, and anybody heard the Green Book? What the Green Book was used for back in the day. The Green Book was basically a book that was created. I have the brother's name in front of me. I gotta make sure I mention him and give him a shout out. The person who created the Green Book, his name was Victor Hugo Green, and Victor Hugo Green created the Green Book as a way to help Black people travel, because there weren't very many Black-owned hotels. He helped Black people travel in a way that was safe. He let them know what cities they could go to, which ones they can't, what places are good to stop, which places you can't, and which hotels were Black owned, which ones were not. And the Green Book served a wonderful purpose, kept a lot of people safe. It was very important, definitely for that time. I want to say between about the 1930s and the 1960s. And what's interesting about the Green Book is a couple things. First of all, the Green Book went deeper than just simply giving people a guide on where they could stay and which hotels they could stay in. It also created a whole community around people who were supporting Black-owned businesses, who were deliberately, for their survival, linking up with one another and engaging in economic transactions with each other so that everybody's made better off in the end. And the thing that actually stopped the Green Book from being in wide circulation, believe it or not, was this magical thing called integration. Now, I'm not anti-integration. In fact, I believe that if you live in a global society, you have to integrate on some level. You must engage in transaction and trade with the rest of the world. You don't have to live on an island, nor should you. But when you consider the fact that you had something as beautiful and as brilliant as the Green Book that created this amazing community, and that it was decimated when we suddenly diluted ourselves economically, you must also connect that to the economic consequences of that dilution that took place. Right? You thought you took a step up, but really you took a step down. You thought you moved forward, but really you moved backward. You thought you should be owning more than you did back then. Actually, you own less. So the theme of this whole hotel investing conference is ownership. We have people that can give you the keys in terms of understanding how you can take that next step, how you can set the tone for yourselves and for your children and grandchildren, how you can prepare the next generation to actually be power brokers and to actually be in a position to shape the community in a way that doesn't just bring people together, but also allows them to build the wealth that your family deserves. And so everybody in this room right now, I want you, just so we can get our mind right, type the word ownership in the chat. Ownership is the word for today. Ownership, ownership, ownership. I care. I do care if your child has a college degree. I think that's great. All of our kids are going to go to college. But more importantly, all of our kids, by the time they're 25, will own something more than a college degree. They won't just own a college degree. They might own a college. Okay. So or a hotel or a home or a bunch of shares of stock or whatever the case may be. All right. So that's where we're going with this. And that's the theme. And so I want to thank the whole team for putting this together and let them know that I'm about to step off the stage and let Amari Head and Devon Reeves take over. And so if you want to bring them on in, bring them on in. And by the way, the URL is blackhotelinvesting.com if you want to go check for the recording or anything else. So thank you all for joining us. It's great to see you. And I'm out of here. I'm going to zip it up and bounce. Thank you, guys. I'll see you soon.
Thank you so much, Dr. Watkins. Thank you so much.